Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to this episode of the Whole Woman Show. Today, I am so happy to have Mrs. Cheryl Lashley back with me. She's been on the show before, and we had a pretty good time doing the show that we did before. And she's here to talk with me about how we can make the working environment, be it as it may these days because of this pandemic that we're in, safe, happy, conducive for everybody involved. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take a commercial break and we'll come back and then I'll let Miss Lashley tell you a little bit about herself. We'll be right back after these messages.
You always going so fast, burning it up. You got you running like that, right past what you want. So do like I do, and move like I move. Feel that magic down in your shoes. That's why I'm walking like this. That's why I'm walking like this. Yeah. You always moving so fast, breaking your neck. You've been running so far, but you ain't got there yet. So do what I do.
This is gonna suck. Biore charcoal cleansers suck out 2 times more dirt, oil, and impurities. That's why Biore charcoal sucks. Better. Biore. Free your pores.
Hi, and we're back. And before we went to the break, I was mentioning to you that I have joining me today Mrs. CARYL Lashley, and she is here today. She's been on the show before, and we talked a little bit about some of the things that was healthy for relationships on the first show. And today she's here to talk with us a little bit about relationships as well, but it's the relationship in the working environment between a boss and an employee. And today I have with me Mrs. CARYL Lashley. It's so good to have you with me. I think she may be having a little bit of difficulty with her technology. Boy, this technology is a piece of something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give her a couple of minutes to get everything together. We have we had some suicides in the country of late, more than we usually do, and that has been concerning to me. Simply because, with this environment that we're in terms of persons losing jobs and not being able to take care of their families, especially men, because I think for a lot of men, that's a very important thing to them to be able to, no matter what anybody says, there are some men out there who value taking care of their families and strong men and stable men, but sometimes the things of life tend to get to you and cause you to not think clearly and be on the right page. Today we cover men in this country and we come against the plan of the enemy to destroy their lives because they have children and wives and homes to take care of. So we come against the plan of the enemy to cause them to lose focus of who they are and commit suicide and any other kind of things that are detrimental to their health and their well-being and the well-being of their families. Ms. Lashley, can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? Can you hear me? No? I can hear you. Say something for me. Yeah, I can hear you. It's not clear. and I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm sorry that I can't tell that you could hear me, but we're here today to talk about empathy, both for the employer and the employee, just generally in the
Hmm.
workplace. And I think when we talk about the
What,
workplace,
okay, before we go into that, let's talk a little bit about you and what it is that you do. Let's tell people who you are so that they can understand why you qualify to do what it is that you do. I think, yeah, this technology. Let me give you, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. You can hear me? Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to a commercial break. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to give you a chance to go ahead and get your mic and your stuff sorted out. I'll go to a commercial break, and I'll be right back. Give me a few minutes, people. We'll be right back. Okay, hi, and we're back. Let's give this one more try. Before we went to the break, I was talking about what we will be discussing today, which is empathy in the workplace between employer and employee, and trying to make the environment a safe one. Because, like I mentioned before, we were having, I think we have a rate of suicide in the country.
yeah,
I don't know what they're related to, but one of the things I do know is that at the end of the day, things are very difficult for both men and women. But we have some men that are. I think I believe it's more so men than it is women. It's actually. Can you hear me? Can you? Oh, the enemy, the enemy, the enemy. ah, and it started from the very beginning. This isn't even where we get into the show and then have it happen. It's starting from the very beginning. Can you hear me, Miss Lashley?
I can now. And as soon as the music came on, I could hear the music. And then when you came on, I couldn't hear you, but I got you now. I don't know what happened.
Okay. All right. Take your camera over a little bit, or you're good right there. You're good right there. Let's not move it too much because we know technology is what it is.
Crazy.
Let's not
Yeah.
move it too much. But before we went to the break and before we had was so rudely interrupted by technology, I wanted you to tell our audience, our listening audience, a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do, so that they can see why you're qualified to speak on the topic that you're speaking about. Tell them a little bit about who you are.
Okay, so CARYL, LASHLEY, my name. You got that part already. And so from probably 2009, 2010, I started my education in terms of mediation and arbitration through the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. And that's been my course, I guess, over the past 10 years. I've been trying to understand myself and explain as much as I could what it is about conflict resolution that we need to embrace. And
Mhm.
it's really that everybody is involved with conflict. We all are. And so I realized that was the first thing I had to kind of get my hands around, that we all are embroiled, for want of a better word. And it
All
doesn't
the
mean
time.
it a negative word, all the
Hmm.
time in conflict, whether within ourselves or with other people. And it's how we
Hmm.
manage it that makes it work. We
Hmm.
just have to manage it. And so I've, over the past so many years, been trying to manage and explain to people how to manage and try to share the insights that I have about managing it, and really it's about communication, whether we say something one way or we say it another. And that's really what I've been about the whole time. And in fact, since 2016 or 2015, what I've done is um, undertake uh, started first of all, and then undertaken some arbitration and mediation courses that we've invited the public to participate in to share our knowledge. And then what we've been able to do is that we've been able to train people primarily as mediators. So we've done
Oh,
quite a bit of that over the past. We haven't done any training this year at all, but we're going to start doing some next month. In fact, we're doing a training next month. So we still have a few slots open, and
mhm.
it'll be our first virtual training. And
Okay.
so we're looking forward to that. And what it is it's to enable you to become a mediator, an
Mm.
accredited mediator. And while in Bahamas, we aren't yet at the stage where mediating going on, some is going on. And more people are understanding that it's better to mediate than to go to court. Far it's better, because what happens with the mediation, what happens when you deal with things yourself and have a conversation is you end up with a relationship at the end of the day. When you got the relationship, it's over because someone's mad. And when you're mad, the relationship has
Miss
already
Lashley,
broken
Miss
down,
Lashley, excuse me.
and you don't want to
Can,
fix it.
can
But if you
can you
could
hear me?
mediate it, you end up with a relationship at the end of the day that you live with, a settlement that you can live with, and you
Can
continue to do
can you
business.
hear
And
me?
likewise,
Can you hear
I
me?
can.
Okay, here's what needs to happen. Your connection or something is really, really off,
I
and you can
can
hardly
now.
you can hear me, but what's happening is
Can I hear you? So,
your when you speak, it's really it's like you cannot hear what's happening. So I am going to. Is there any way you can get one of your staff members to come in and see if they can help you with the connection? Let me take a commercial break and then we'll come back, give you an opportunity to pull that together because it makes no sense for us to continue the way we're going because persons can't understand. It's valuable information, and we're here today because we want people to be able to get the information and understand what it is we're trying to accomplish. So, say something to me now and let me see what happens. Hello, can you hear me? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world of technology. I do apologize severely for this.
okay, I understand
Speak,
that the
speak now.
connection is poor. I can
Okay,
hear you. I can.
okay. You sound a little bit clearer now. Um, you're gonna have to not move it because if you move it, it's gonna keep going out. Say something now. Let me hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, so I understand that. I surely can. I
Okay,
understand
let's.
that I can hear you. I can hear you very well. I
Okay,
understand
you're
that
better
the
now.
connection is not as it should be, and you aren't hearing me
Yeah,
well.
yeah. I can hear you now. I can hear you. So, and it's not muffled and broken the way it was. So last, you were talking a little bit about what the training was that you do at your local, for persons as arbitrators. Let's continue on along those lines. Its connection is not the best connection in the world right now. Can you hear me?
Shall I go on?
Yes, go ahead. You can go ahead. Once you can hear me and you sound clear now, go ahead for me.
I can. Shall
Yes,
I
go
speak
ahead. Yes.
now? Can
Hmm.
you?
Yes.
Okay,
Miss-
so I was saying that over the past 10 years I've been training myself and others in the art and art of how to manage conflict. And started telling you that we were doing is doing some training of people to be mediators. We also do training for communication skills, training on the art listening, because that's a huge part. You have to be able to listen, to be able to deal with whatever the issue is. Because if you're not listening, and you have to actively listen, and that's why we say, you listen and the thing, and listen, you look at their face, and you try to see what the
Yeah, that connection. Everyone, I apologize about this today. I don't know what's going on. Like sometimes when you connect in the studio, when you connect with a device that's not hardwired, the connection is not clear. It's not good. Mrs. Lashley, if you can hear me, can you come back into the studio in the manner in which you did before? And I will connect you back in the studio. One of the things I've learned in this life is the enemy throws you when the enemy comes and he throws a fireball at you, you catch it and you keep it moving. So right now, we're going to hang out today. We're going to take a break. I'm going to go to a commercial and I'll come back from the commercial and hopefully Miss Lashley will be back in the studio. And if not, we're going to work this out today. If not, I'll have to reschedule her and we'll have to do another show. But we're going to hang out today. We're going to have a good time, everybody.
This is gonna suck. Biore charcoal cleansers suck out 2 times more dirt, oil, and impurities. That's why Biore charcoal sucks. Better. Biore. Free your pores.
Hey guys, we're back. Mrs. Lashley is not back in the studios yet. Of course, the enemy fights all the time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you to Muhammad Wholesale Agency, the distributors of the rose quartz and charcoal facial cleanser that we have. And I want you to understand that this cleanser is amazing. And if you get the opportunity to go out and make a purchase of the Biore cleanser, you can go ahead and go to any of our leading drugstores in the country, and you can go ahead and get those, pick those up there. Also, I'd like to say thank you to the Commonwealth Drugs and Medical Supplies. That's Pedro over there at Commonwealth Drugs, and they distribute the Color Splurge lipstick, and they come in so many colors. They have indigo, they have the Fire Fusion that I love, and my indigo. What I'm going to do today, let me just take this opportunity while we're meeting on Miss Lashley, and I have some time to kill. If you are someone that is interested in purchasing one of the lipsticks, the rose, the Fire Fuchsia or the indigo that I love, go ahead and drop a line in here. You can make a purchase. I'll make sure I'll do curbside for you guys today. I will deliver to you once you are interested in making a purchase of one of the lipsticks. They are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous lipsticks that you can, they are matte lipsticks, and they have the vitamin E in it. The vitamin E that now goes ahead and makes your lip all moist and all moist and soft, and it doesn't go on your lips. It's not like the ordinary lipsticks that we have around here that goes ahead and makes your lip chapped and all that kind of stuff, the matte lipsticks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go and get my fuchsia for you guys to have a look at it, and then we'll go from there. If you're interested in making a purchase, you can drop a note down at the bottom of the messenger, the Facebook page, and we will connect after the show in reference to making a purchase. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back, and here's the. I said I'll go and get my Fab Fuchsia that I love so very much. I absolutely love this lipstick. It is you open it, and it has the wand that you use, and you just go on and you put it on, and it's all pretty. I don't want to put it on the screen because I may make a mess of my lips already. That's already done. But you just open it up, and it lasts a while because I've had it now for a while. It's not shallow either. It has a lot of product in it, and here is what it looks like. It's a little wand that you use, and it comes in several colors. They have several colors that you can purchase, and like I said, this is the Fab Fuchsia, and then there's the indigo that I love as well. That's when I feel like being like little Vixen. I put on the Fab Fuchsia. I put on the indigo. The Fab Fuchsia is for when I'm feeling sexy, and that causes me. My lip comes through the door before I do. And here, you can go ahead and drop below if you're interested in having one. So we'll be here to get those to you. Um, One of the things that I know we were supposed to talk about today, we were going to talk about, we're talking about the working environment and relationships in the workplace. And right now, like I was saying before, in the in this day and age with all that's going on, I think mental health is of vital importance because um, it's important for individuals to be able to be to keep their minds stable in this season, especially for persons, because there's thousands of persons in this country that have lost jobs. Believe it or not, thousands. And it is a difficult situation. And every time you turn around, you go to the food store, grocery is more expensive, gas is more, everything is more expensive, but the money is getting less and less, seem like it's getting less and less, and it's not there. And that's a difficult thing for persons, and I think that I think I see Miss Lashley back in the studio. Let me just give her a try to get her back in, and then we're gonna go from there. Hold on for me, people. Hold that thought. Hi.
I'm back.
You sound like you almost got it perfect. Don't move it too much because we don't want it to go out again. Okay. I want you to be able to get your information out. I love the concept of the courses that you're talking about in the classes, because one of the things we know in this country is that conflicts is something that we don't know how to resolve. So let's go ahead again, one more time. Satan, we rebuke you today in the name of Jesus. We come against your plan over this show. I don't know why you're trying to keep it from coming on, but whatever it is, we're going to get it done today. And who's supposed to get the information will get the information. We cancel you now. This is my show, and I decree and I declare you have no power, no authority. I take authority over this show, and we will get this done today. Okay, Miss Lashley, that's how
Absolutely.
I feel. Let's do this. Let's start again. Go ahead.
Okay, got me. So, what I was saying is that conflict starts with us. And we have to realize that if we want to avoid conflict, we're on the wrong path. We have to recognize that conflict is everywhere and we can't do anything about it. But what we can do is manage it. And that's really the key, that we manage conflict. It's about us, it's not about the other person. We want to change people, we want to change the world, but we don't want to change ourselves.
Yes.
And so what we're trying to do is to talk about listening skills. We have to listen to listen. Listen to hear, not listen to answer, not listen to respond, not listen to finish the sentence for you. We have to listen and understand. And that's our first thing. And the second thing we have to do is we have to teach in our trainings. What we do is we teach to communicate. So you have to listen and then you have to communicate.
Yes.
And we all have prejudices and biases and people we don't like and people we like and people who told us something about somebody else who related to that somebody else who told me something about you, and then we and we make a decision based on that. We can't. We're not psychiatrists, psychologists, any of those things. We have to know what we know and know what we do not know. We want to communicate, and that's it.
Yes.
And we want to do that without bias. And so that's what our training series are about. We do half days training, 1 day training. And then what we're doing next month is, as I said, we're doing a 42-hour training, 2.5 hours a day, for the month of November on mediation. And
Mm-hmm.
what it is an accredited course to teach people to become a mediator. Before very long, there's going to be a lot of mediation going on. The courts are going to send you away
Yes.
and say, don't bring every matter you have, every dispute you have, do not bring it to court. That's why the court's bogged down. Go
Mm.
and get it mediated. Talk to each other. Get somebody to facilitate your conversation. And that's what mediators do. We facilitate a conversation. And so our training is about that.
Well, the thing about it is what you're saying, Stanya, I see you. I'm going to bring you in a little bit later because I kind of had her on standby just in case because of because of what was happening. So I'll just drop her in a little bit later at the end. Okay, Stan, I see you. Okay, what you said is very vital. One of the things that you said that's very important is with all the people losing jobs and people not wanting to pay and people not wanting all this stuff, mediation is going to be needed very shortly. And you said that you don't have to take everything to court because you're bogging the court down and giving them so much to do when in essence there's sometimes it's just a form of communication that needs to take place where you have someone that can be a impartial person that can hear both sides and then get persons to speak and pick out the best parts of what needs to be done. The thing I love is we're talking today about relationships and mediation, making empathy for the employer and employee. Tell me what a good working environment for an employer and employee looks like from your perspective.
Communication. That's all that we require. Communication. Firstly, if I engage you to do one thing and I think that maybe I'd like you to do something else, I need to say to you, I know you're here to do A, but I really would like you to do B as well.
Mm,
And you'll say, well, I can't do B. And so I would then say, well, can I help you? What training do you need? Maybe you don't need training. Maybe you can do it if, I'll walk you through it. But there needs to be some dialogue, some real communication before we can determine how we get to B. And a lot
mhm,
of times there's no communication because I would say, well, I'm not doing B because I didn't come here to do no dog on B. And the
mhm,
person would say, well, at the beginning we talked about being full service, everybody learning to do multitask and do other things to pull up to help one another. And we're a small outfit. And so we want to be able to just do that. And well, then you'll say, well, and I can't get to work for 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. And the employer might say, well, you have to because that's the time we start. But
mhm,
if there's some real dialogue without any emotions in it, just facts. The fact is, I don't have a transportation. The fact is, the bus doesn't run in my area until 7. The fact is, and let's get the facts out. And then after we get the facts out, we then say, what are the opportunities that we can employ to deal with these facts and make it work for both of us?
mhm.
And the reality is, too, that we only look at our own feelings. The employer has some feelings, too. Everybody
Yeah,
has feelings.
yeah.
And we don't think about that. We're quick to say something negative about the other person and we don't want to change. And so we have to stop and think and look at what the end result is. Is there an accommodation that we both could make to make it work?
Mhm,
And that's what it's about. We have to find out that maybe somebody who works with you or lives by you.
mhm.
That there's so many variables that we just fail and refuse to explore. And that is why we don't communicate well, and that is why the relationships are poor. And then we go to the next level and say, well, they don't like me anyway, and it has nothing to do with
It
that.
all becomes personal, right? It all becomes personal. The, the thing,
In a
the thing,
second.
the thing you keep saying that keeps resonating with me is that you have to listen to hear. A lot of people don't understand what that means. A lot of people listen, but they don't hear. And I say that a lot. I talk a lot. I talk fast and I talk a lot. But I always try to understand what it is the other person is saying or what the other person is feeling. I'm not good at it. I'm getting better at it because my daughter says to me, Mommy, well, like she'll be like, Mommy, well, this is what you said. And I'm like, did I? And I'm like, okay, I need to like get it together here because she's telling me something that clearly I'm not seeing. And that's what we do as a people. And then we jump to the emotional thing that they don't like me. Not that they're trying to get both people to come together, or they're stating their part, but you're not stating your part. And that's one of the things that we have a problem with too, because most persons don't know how to communicate to state what it is that they want or don't want, boundaries, all that sort of stuff. That's one of the criteria that I think takes place in a working environment, because too, a lot of times people don't think that they have to listen as an employer, and then the employee sometimes think that they don't have the right to say it because the people won't listen anyway.
Anyway,
What does it, what without an arbitrator, because we don't have them all on the job, what would be the thing that you need to do for yourself personally as an individual person, as an employer or an employee, to get to be better at this?
what we need to do is find the right time and the right place and say, I have some issues and I really would like an opportunity to discuss them with
Mm-hmm.
you. This mightn't be the right time, but at any time you say, I'll make myself available, but I really would like to have an audience for 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
for half an hour. Be upfront, give some facts. I
Mm-hmm.
am concerned, not you all messing with me in this place. I am concerned, and I really would like to keep my job, and I'd like to do it to the best of my abilities. I really would like to have an audience to have a conversation for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't make that 20 minutes just before you're going home. We don't make it just before lunchtime. We try to find the right time. We try to
Mm-hmm.
find the right area where there's some privacy so that there's no interruption, and we make it serious.
Yes.
But we have to do it, and we have to do it appropriately. We can't be telling all of the other co-workers, well, I'm going to tell these people a piece of my mind today, because that is not what it's about. Because somebody is going to say, this is what you said. You have to say, I need to fix me.
Mm-hmm.
And once we do that, we're on the right track. But
Yeah,
we have to
because
do it positively rather than negatively. That's it.
one of the things that I find that we do as human beings, period, is that we let things pile up. And then what we do is we lash out. And then that's when we go to tell people a piece of our mind, because we've let everything pile up, as opposed to when something happens, just say what happens. One of the things I often tell people, especially if I'm in any relationship, you cannot say that you don't know what I want, because I can tell you what I want. Now, you may not hear again what I say, but you can know what I want. Because I feel like I give people I call it a long road for a short cash, because I tell you and I keep telling you. And when I see you not paying attention, then I gone. I ain't for this no more, because you ain't
No
trying.
point.
Yeah, because I think we let things pile up. I think we need to be able to say, yeah, my daughter say I'm guilty. She is guilty of that. I need us to come to understand, if something is bothering you, it's easier to talk about that thing and not make when you wait until it gets to you're talking about the toothpaste you squeeze from the bottom, the dishes you ain't wash, all that. Do you agree with me? Does that make sense?
100%. And the other thing is, that's why we have to also look at people. We have to look at their expression, not only hear what they're saying, because they might think something
Mm,
and not be able to really articulate it. So you'll be able to say, well, you're frowning, something you're not getting, or you're
mm,
frowning. Can I help you to articulate something, or are you upset about something? So we also have an obligation to assist the person that we want to work with
mm-hmm.
to communicate, because everybody is not that comfortable with communicating on the first
Yeah.
day. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's a journey. And so we
Yes.
have to be able to do that. We have to be able to take the responsibility, if we want the relationship,
Mhm.
to assist the other person in the conversation, in understanding.
The thing about it is, for me, I feel like a working environment. We spend more time at work than we do anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Anywhere else. And for me, it has always been, I've always had this craving to be in an environment, in a work environment, where everybody is just treating people the way you want to be treated. That's basically what it is. It's just about being kind, and if you have a problem, you say it, and you don't have to say it from a place of anger. And it goes back to saying it when something happens, be like, listen, you did this, and I can't appreciate that. If you don't mind, you know, please don't do that again, or whatever it is. And that's communication, you know?
And
And
and we have to do that because what we don't want to do is say, I really don't appreciate it. And let me tell you something else. Last week's Friday, you said this
you,
and that, and I didn't like that either. And last month, you said that before. And so
so you've been
I'm really
stirring
mad.
it up, stirring it up. And then the other person is going to be like, well, because now they feel like you storing stuff up on them. So now this
Correct.
becomes an environment that's toxic, you know?
Immediately.
One of the things that I mentioned earlier when you were going through the communication difficulties, I was talking about persons now with things being what it is in this pandemic, and jobs are what they are, and people are on half time and cut wages and all this type of thing. It is a mental, I think you have to now look at a mental perspective for people as well, because now home is not what it should be, because monies are not what it should be. What would you say in an environment like that with an employee and an employer? Because I'm thinking with that kind of environment, I think there needs to be some kind of sit down and hearing what people feel or what people think. That's just how I feel about it.
Right. And the other thing is, and we've been up and down with the lockdowns and the curfews, and so they have had some impact, but also people have to be able to say, um, is there anything that we could do by thinking out of the box? So
Mm,
we work here in this building, but there might be some other chores that we could do to make it work
mm,
while the pandemic is on. We have to
mm.
think outside of the box and see
Yes.
how we could do something. And there are things that could be done. I mean, it wouldn't be something we would think of automatically today, but it
Hmm.
could be that, okay, even in your neighborhood, you might say, well, we could deliver the water, or we could
Mm,
find a way to facilitate the needs
mm,
of people, even if only to an extent, even if only to give people back
mm.
some sense of dignity and some sense of worth so that
Yes.
they'll have something to do.
Mm,
Um, it might be what they did before, but you have to have some options and say, well, these are
mm,
4 things that I think might help. While they mightn't
mm.
be optimum, that's what we
I
have
think,
available.
yeah, I think that makes sense, because like even if you, let's say you were a cashier, and now the person can only afford to have one cashier, but they need somebody else to do shelf work, you could transition over to that for now. But
Now,
listen, don't let pride be the thing that keeps you from achieving and going where you need to go. Sister girl used to do
correct.
construction, okay? Construction, all right? Lifting blocks and slinging cement, okay? I did that without fail. And at the end of the day, I say that to say this. Sometimes our pride is the thing that gets us too. And that's another thing that we need to look at as an individual. And that, I think that's a part of working on yourself, like you keep talking about, the working on yourself and coming to understand who you are, and understanding that if I could get $150 as opposed to the 250 I used to get before, that's something that I can now use to help to take care of my family. And believe me, if you don't want it, ain't nobody giving you nothing. So if I were you, I'd take it. You
Take it.
understand what I'm saying? And not be worried about what anybody thinks, because at the end of the day, you have bills to pay, and ain't nobody helping you pay them either.
Right. And that's why I start off saying conflict starts with us. Most of the conflict is in ourselves.
Hmm.
It's not with the other person, it's with us. We have some ideas in our head, some biases, some fixations that we refuse to let go of. And once we let go of them, our head gets a little clearer and we see the opportunities that exist, and we start to crawl in a different way. We say, okay, we'll crawl with this until we could walk, until we could run, and we'll take this path.
Yeah,
It's not
because
easy on day one, but we could do it.
yeah, and the thing about it is the fact that things could get better. Things are gonna get better. So you just have to do it for a period of time until you're able to pick yourself up and move into the way that you need to go, that you would have gone before. Um, we're gonna look at ladies and gentlemen. If you're on the show, if you're watching the show, you can drop some questions below, and we're gonna ask Mrs. Lashley some of those questions for you. We're looking forward to it, because right now, if you're an employee or an employer, I'm sure you have some questions that you would like to ask her. You could go ahead and drop them at the bottom, and she'll be happy to answer those questions for you, I'm sure. Miss Lashley, what I want you to do is tell us what you mentioned earlier, that you don't have to go to court for everything. Walk us through what an arbitration or conflict resolution in an environment would look like. Walk us through what would happen.
Okay, so when there's some conflict, the first thing you and the person you're in a dispute with would do is try to negotiate yourselves calmly, good communication, good listening skills, no violence. And when we talk about violence, we talk about hitting each other, but really violence is our words.
Words,
You
yes.
never do so and so, and body language. That's what violence is about in our communication. That we really become violent very quickly. We lose sight of that we're supposed to be speaking and communicating on facts. We give a fact, we give an observation on that fact, we evaluate that fact from our perspective, and so we throw that on that other person a huge rock.
Yeah.
All we have to do is just give the fact and move on. This is a fact. I am upset. That's a fact. But we don't have to say, I am upset because you did so and so and you meant to do it and your children did so and so. We pile it on and lose sight of where we're really going. So if we just give the fact, say what happened, and let them respond. And then we go back. And so there's some dialogue. And if we're not happy with what we hear, we ask them again, I think you said so and so. Is that really what you said? Or is that what you meant? Or am I misinterpreting it? And if we calm down sufficiently to just listen, make sure we understand, throw it back at them and ask them, is this what you really meant? Then that's that. So we back and forth, and we can do that ourselves. If we can't do that ourselves, we try to mediate it. We engage a neutral person who will facilitate the conversation, who will keep us calm, who will say, you speak, and we won't interrupt you. And if you want to interrupt, just write it down. I give you some paper and a pencil. You write down the things you want to interrupt about, but do not speak while they're speaking. So we manage the conversation. We manage the emotions that these people have. And nothing's wrong with emotions. But the mediator manages the conversation and tries to get from each person what the concern really is and what they would like to see. We try to keep it not personal, just factual interest that they have. And a lot of times, very, very, very many times, a lot is accomplished with a simple conversation where you apologize for what you did. You take ownership of something that you did that upset them, apologize for it, and then you move on to continue the conversation. So we have to be able, with the mediator, to speak, to understand what's bothering the other person and deal with it as we go along. And that's what a mediation does. And it facilitates that conversation until we get a resolution. And that resolution usually enables the parties to have a relationship afterwards, whether it's a business relationship or just a plain friendship, no matter what. Even if it's a divorced couple, they will have a relationship whereby they could go to their children's wedding or christening of the baby or whatever 10 years down the road and be fine, civil, no problems.
That's some powerful stuff right there. Especially here in this Bahamas, because our people don't like to be wrong. They don't like to give in and they don't like to give up. But let me ask you, okay, let's say it's a business. And let's say somebody on the line has a business issue with another person, and they, instead of wanting to go to court, they go to arbitration. When they come to the agreement, whatever that agreement is that now taken and written and made law, or is that how it works? Tell us about that part.
That is how it works. Until it's signed, sealed, and delivered, it's not done. An agreement is not a binding agreement until you both write down what it is and you both sign off on it, and we can take it to court and say, this is an order of the court. That is the strength of a mediation. Your agreement that you write will be completely binding. And the court is not going to listen again to this whole argument, the whole story. They'll say, this is what you all signed off on. Let's move on from here. How are we going to get this paid off? How are we going to get this settled? How are we going to get this resolved? Because this is what you have decided as an order to resolve the dispute that you have had. And that's what mediation does. And arbitration is a little different in that the arbitrator is like a judge.
Mm.
The mediator looks to the future. They want you all to be able to work well together. They want you to, they're not interested in what went wrong. They want to see how can we make it right. An arbitrator looks at what went wrong and tries to say, okay, I think you all can resolve it by you paying this one $5 or you pay me $6 or whatever. So the arbitrator makes a decision, but it's not as complicated as the court rules. You make your own rules as how the process works.
I like
So
that.
you have a very simple process, you follow that process. The court has a process which is a long process, and that's the difference.
Okay, divorces can be done in that manner as well.
Well, the actual divorce, no. So when you have a divorce, you usually have the court is going to make an order to dissolve the marriage. That the court has to do. But that takes 15, 20 minutes. What takes the time is you're going to determine how we're going to deal with the children. Who's going to pay the school fees? How are we going to deal with the house? Who's going to pay the mortgage? Who's going to pay for this? What about access to the children? What about taking them on vacation? Those things can be dealt with in a mediation. And so what we do, what we have done, I mean, and I as a mediator would do, is you go and get your dissolution. But by the time you go, you come to me first. So we have everything resolved and we say to the court, here's the order. You dissolve the marriage and everything else has been agreed and decided. And so the decisions that you make as in a mediation, signed off on, they're really an order of the court.
So
it's done.
So whatever, and that causes it to go quicker, wouldn't it? Because then
because again, you go to get your dissolution, and it's only after that happens that you go through the processes of the ancillary matters which deal with property, which deal with the children, which deal with maintenance, all those things. Whereas you could do both at the same time. You could do your mediation today, and tomorrow you're going for your hearing for your dissolution. Or while you're preparing your documents for dissolution, you're doing your mediation. And so when you're done, you're done. And because if you do it through the courts, you'll be until next year trying to get it back into court on the ancillary matters, back into court on the children's whatever.
The thing that I want to know is, like, at the end of the day, is the cost as costly as an attorney, or is it on par for an attorney or a mediator as an attorney?
Well, the answer to that is no. From my perspective, no, because generally speaking, a mediator, unless the parties agree otherwise, will have the parties share the cost. And I've had matters that I've mediated where lawyers have participated, they're lawyers, but I've had matters where they both have a lawyer, but the lawyer said, well, you mediated, and when it's done, come back to me. So the lawyers didn't come to the process. Because when you go to court, the lawyers speak for you. In a mediation, you speak for yourself. And I don't care how good your lawyer is, they don't understand what's hurting you.
Yeah, I agree. You know, we were talking about the employer-employee, but the mediation thing is just fascinating to me, simply because, you know, like, I don't think most people know that you guys do exist, and that's something that needs to be made known. That you do have mediators that can now do this for you, as opposed to having to go through all the courts and all the running around the running around of the system. Because we know sometimes people say they wait years to get their divorce completed, whereas if you can just come in a session with you, then it makes it easier for them to be able, just like you say, to come out of it, and it's not half as expensive, and it moves quickly. I love that concept. And I didn't know, I know what a mediator is. I understand arbitration. I understand all that concept, Cotton, but I didn't know that we had that so readily available here in the Bahamas. That is something that I'm really impressed by. And I think you were talking about, you had the courses and you had the online courses that you were going to be starting. What I want you to do is talk about that and tell people how they can get in contact with you if they want to be a part of those courses. Because you said you do have a few more seats available. Tell persons how they could get to be a part of that.
Right. Our email address is admin at adrbahamas.org. ADMIN at adrbahamas.org. And so you send us an email and we'll send you all the information. And our phone number is 394-7800. ADR Bahamas, 394-7800.
And
But
that's ADR Bahamas people. If you
ADR
want to check
Bahamas.
that, they can go online and check for that, or in the telephone directory as well, right? If they do, if
Right.
they still exist.
And we have a webpage, ADR Bahamas.
Okay, so you can go to the webpage. What I'll do is I'll drop everything down at the bottom of the Facebook page after the show, so that anybody who wants to reach out to Mrs. Lashley, or someone that might be interested, I think that would be an interesting career, because it's not something that you do that you hear about on a consistent that people do all the time. That should be an interesting career. I think I could be good at that. I talk a lot to begin with.
You have to be able to listen a lot too.
Yeah, well, I think I'm pretty good at that. I think and even if I'm not, I'm one of those people I could train myself to do that. That's that work which you talk about.
Right. And it actually is. And the key really is to manage the people that you're working with. To be a good mediator, you have to be able to manage the emotions in the room and manage the people.
Personalities and
Correct.
Because I think that's why I said that's some powerful stuff earlier, because to keep people emotions in check, that's a serious thing. Because the next guest I'm going to bring on, she's a life coach, and she deals with a lot of stuff too, and I know she has a lot of stuff that she deals with when you're dealing with people back and forth, so she would kind of sort of understand that part of it. I'm gonna drop everything where people can reach you and how they can get in contact with you in relation to the courses that you offer, because I think that's just awesome. I am going to get all the information out, and I hope that there are persons on here that see the vision of it, because I really like that. I think that that's a phenomenal job that you do. The opportunity to go ahead and help people to be able to communicate better and understand better. That's of vital importance today.
It is, and the world is going that way. That's the way of the world. Peaceful communication.
Especially now. And one of the things that we had talked about earlier is the conflict resolution, going into the schools and teaching it in schools as well, because we have a lot of issues where young people cannot communicate. They are violent and they're angry, and they're taking it out on other people, and that's something that I think that needs to be taught across the board. Because I mentored at a particular school, and the young girls, they were harsh. They're harsh young people. They're beautiful. They are amazing young people, but then too, you have to look at the environments that they come from. And when you look at the environments that they come from, you tend to understand why they're the way they are. So you need to now get them in an environment where they can unlearn behaviors.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you have people there in a home, and they're like, the mother, before she says something, she done lash out and hit them before she even says a word. Learn behaviors. And so we need to get them in an environment where they can learn differently, where they could be better. And I think that that's something that we had talked about earlier. Is there something that you're working on to try and make that happen?
Well, yes and no. I think it's slow. We're trying it, but it's slow. But I think it's gonna mushroom once the courts decide, with the new court rules that are coming into play, that you have to mediate before you could come to court.
Wow.
And
okay.
And that's what most jurisdictions are doing now. And so we're looking at hopefully making the world a more peaceful place. But and we talk about the children being a certain temperament, but adults are the same, and we blame the children.
Learn behavior.
We blame them, but we're the same.
Yeah, and you can see it, because you driving around, boy, I tell you driving around, the woman hit the back of my car and she get out her car and start cursing me. I was like, now see, lady, I done 10 times bigger than you, because I know a small woman, and if I get in the space that you're in, I only can choke you. And so you have to be like, let me take myself off this edge, pull myself in off the ledge, come in,
Right.
vagina, come in, and then you deal from it differently. Because if both of us go from 0 to 100, because when she to 100, I didn't go into 1,000 long time. So you
Right.
have to learn how to manage you. And again, that's the same work that
Always.
you keep talking about. It's that
Always
same
have to
work that
manage
you
you.
keep talking about. Yes. Well, it has been. I'm going to bring my guest in because I did get her to come because I did know it was
Okay.
going to happen.
Right.
So I'm going to bring in. Oh, y'all two are going to like each other. Stanya, I'm bringing in Stanya Davis, and she has an event coming up, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Hi, Stan. How are you?
Hi there.
How are
Stanya,
you?
Mrs. Lashley, Stanya.
Hi. I mean,
How are you?
Miss Lashley have me thinking, I mean, are you ready to be mediator?
And you could.
I knew you would feel that way.
And you could.
Yeah.
And that's what
It's
you have to do.
interesting.
I think more people have to do it. If you have that temperament, that personality, that drives, that's an
Yeah,
art
exactly.
you have to want. And if you want it, I think that's what the nation needs. It needs more and more mediators to step
Right.
in into some of the disputes that are out there, because there are lots of disputes out there. Loads and loads and loads.
Yeah,
Wow. I
I
didn't
think she
even
has
know
that
that.
kind of temperament.
Right. But I didn't know that these things were available. I mean, when you don't know, then you don't even know that you
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying. That's what
Right,
I'm saying.
right.
Because we were talking about employer employee, and I know there's more we could have probably pulled out of that. But I think, see, the enemy doesn't want things to come to light, Miss Lashley. And I tell you that fight that we had
You
with this show
started
today.
off with that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's always a plan, and there's somebody on here who needs you and who's going to find you, who even come back to this show. They're going to be able to find you because you left your information because they didn't know that this sort of thing was available, because I certainly didn't. And I think I'm kind of like a little intelligent woman over here. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, you didn't need our services, and that's why you didn't know.
No, I, Miss
Hmm.
Lashley,
But,
I ain't
but
gonna
there are
touch
lots of
someone with a 10-foot pole. We can talk after the fact. We can
Hmm.
talk after the fact over there. Stanya, it is so good to have you with me. Stanya is a life coach, Miss Lashley. She has an event that's coming up. Stanya, let's talk a little bit about the event that you have coming up.
All right. Awesome. All right. Well, the name of the entire event is All I Want for Christmas is Me. So that's the name of the entire event,
okay.
but it's a series of mini sessions. So the mini sessions this came about actually as a result of some of my clients. And who am I kidding? It came up as a result of me as well. Hello, somebody. So it really is a way for us to do the work, because we have less than 3 months left in the year. And look here now, well, see, I'm behaving, so I'm not gonna say bad words today. I'm gonna behave on your show today.
Thank
But
you.
you're welcome. So you have Miss Lashley to thank for that. That's all our
Yeah.
mediation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what it is that we got to get our stuff together. And so it's a series of different workshops. The first ones that we did was give your mama back her stuff, taking a look at your first life teacher and some of the things that you would have gotten from your mother that we may not realize that we actually got from our parents. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna dig into that too much because I'm actually at my mama's house and I don't feel like getting put out right now. So, so I'm not gonna touch that one. The other one, the next workshop that we did was give your daddy back his stuff too. And we took a detailed or an in-depth look at being daddyless daughters in particular, and the impact. I think that was very important because I think sometimes we don't realize that we don't even know that we was daddyless, because you can be from a 2-parent home, parents married, and your hip could still be daddyless. Hello,
That's true.
I'm just saying.
It's true.
Yeah, because
It is
we
true.
would have seen a lot of stuff. We would have seen and we would have learned a lot of stuff. That kind of, and then we created this story, and the hurt and all these things that we would have seen in our homes, we would have taken with us on the job, in
Yeah.
relationships, in friendships, wherever it is that we go, because it's our stuff, so it's going with us.
It's following us,
Um,
yes.
Definitely. The upcoming ones that we have this weekend, what is it? Yes, Move On Sis. Oh, Lord of mercy. Hello, somebody. So
Hello.
I am here. I want to help someone who is feeling bad and wrong. I'm speaking to the person who is in a, now I said I'm behaving, so I'm not going to say any bad words. I am speaking to the person who is in a full of crap relationship. Okay? Right. And I'm not even sugarcoating this stuff because it's killing us. All right. And we're living a lie. And it's time to just look, let's tell the truth. Okay.
Communication. That communication. Yeah. Communicate with yourself. That's not what Miss Lashley is talking about. I'm seeing what she's talking about. Do it for yourself.
That's it.
Yeah. So if you're in a relationship right now and you know that it's toxic, and I don't need to go over what toxic is, you know what's toxic. Whatever it is where you're crying and nobody know you're crying, bam, I need you in this workshop. Yeah. If you are married to someone or involved, or this is the big one right now, here we go. Let me bust off a Tahai. If you in a relationship right now and that person gay, you need to get out of that relationship. Move on, sis. I'm just saying. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. If you are in a relationship and look here now next week I'm gonna be 45. Right now, I gotta meet the man. I got to marry the man. I gotta get engaged and marry the man. I got to do everything in one night. So that's right, one time. That's right, in 30 minutes. So if you are in a relationship, you know you want to get married, and you know that man is not gonna marry you. He dangling the little carrot over to you, and y'all know what I'm talking about.
They like to do that. Yeah.
Move on, sis.
Yeah.
If you have been in a relationship and the relationship has ended, let me see, a year ago, 3 years ago, you know what? I saw someone on Facebook and she was lamenting about this relationship that happened about 7 years ago, and it didn't. Look, move on.
Yeah, let it go.
And we have to move on. First of all, for our own sanity. But let me tell you all this little thing here. While we here hurting, let me bust off to Tahai again. Tahai! These people that move on.
They're not the best. Like, they're having the best life. Yeah. They're not three girlfriends since you.
They look here. See, like I said, I'm being decent today. They have woman that help them get over the woman who was in their life. Us. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Move on. Now, all funny jokes aside. I mean, I'm laughing about it, but I have to tell you, the name of my company is Eve's Journey Life Coaching Institute. I created Eve's Journey because I needed to move on. I created Eve's Journey because of the toxic relationships that I was having. So thank you guys, all of the men that I've loved before. Thank you. Yeah, so y'all got them to thank. But we have to move on. We have to move on, like I said, for ourselves, but we have to move on because wrapped up in us, purpose.
Yes.
Things that we need to do.
Yes.
And sometimes when we're in these relationships, we don't even have a sound mind. We don't have peace.
Think about it. Yes. Because you're so broken and so.
You're so broken.
And for us as women, we so like to please these men. We so busy trying to please them and appease them and keep them from leaving and lying to ourselves.
Yes.
You don't have time to be focused on what it is God helped for you to do or what your purpose is in this world. Because you're so busy. Because we always trying to, people pleasers, majority of women, people pleasers. So we're always trying to.
You know something? This is a recurring conversation, like a recurring question or answer, whatever you want to call it. When I speak to women, and I'm like, okay, so tell me, so what you like to do, or what brings you joy? They can't even tell me because they have given and given that they've given themselves away.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. They don't even know how. As a matter of fact, they come to me because they're ready to find themselves.
Yes. Yes.
I am talking to you. Now, listen, I'm talking to you. I am talking to you. If your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, because it's 2020, hello.
Yeah.
If they did something wrong and you feel like you're the bad person, or this person, they done cheat with everybody and their mother and sister, but somehow you the bad person in this.
Yeah, you come up the bad person.
Move on.
Yeah.
You have to move on because you got to stop feeling bad and wrong. That's not good for your mental and emotional health.
And again, if you have children, the same thing Ms. Lashley was talking about. If you have children, now this is where this stuff comes from. It's a learned behavior. What she was saying was, talking about children being angry and children being this and that, but we're those things too. And it comes from that same work she was hopping on. It comes from doing the work to be better and to grow and to be a whole person for yourself. So this ties right into what Ms. Lashley was saying. Tell people how they could get to this.
Okay, we have a few spots now. Now there's a small little cost. The cost is $57 during the session, and it is a session. The difference between if you log on to Tell It to Stanya on Facebook, yes, I'm always running my big mouth, just like I running it today. But the difference between Stanya on Facebook and Stanya in the session is that you're doing activities. People ask, how do I do the work? Well, I am going to show you how to do the work. As a matter of fact, I'm not even here to help you heal. I am here to show you how to heal yourself.
Yeah,
that's why I'm here. So during the session, what the sessions are designed to do is designed to get you on track, to start to let go, to start the healing process, to bring you back to you, because you have to. We have to take care of the most important person in our lives. You cannot take care of anyone until you take care of yourself, until you are healthy. Yeah, and it's time for us to stop settling, man. It's time for us to let go of these little less than relationships. Okay?
Just to have somebody, or just to say somebody in your life, just to say you got a man, and that time you're dying inside, and you ain't no good to nobody.
And guess what, Regina? You say just to say you have a man, you don't even got no man.
Don't have it. Right. Right.
Look here. I know I could be too much. That's okay. I accept that. But come on down and be too much with me. Okay? Because come on down and be too much. Right. Let me show you how to accept being too much or being just enough for whoever it is that you're supposed to be with. Every relationship prepares you for the next one. So we gotta let that go and move forward. That's it. So move on. I'm running on. Y'all find me on Facebook. I'm under Tell It to Stanya or Stanya Davis. Why Miss Lashley laughing? Miss Lashley get jokes on me. Or you can inbox me, or actually I'm gonna give out my number. Don't look here, don't message me right now.
If y'all never good for y'all, don't call it.
Don't call it. I answer that right now. Right now I'm moving on. So y'all don't message me for foolishness. Okay? You can call me 451-6767. I like Miss Lashley. That's 451-6767. Like I say, don't message me for foolishness. Message me.
No, you gotta be real and serious. Real and serious.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that, because like I said, right now we have a purpose, and a lot of times we cannot. Relationship stress, I'll tell you all this, relationship stress is right up there with grief. It's right up there with losing a loved one. And if you don't have the peace of mind, you don't want to go to work, you don't want to get up out of your bed, you don't want to do nothing.
But and then the thing is, the process of getting over it, it's like how you get over a death. You go through sadness, you go through anger, you go through all those things, because that's basically what it is. Because people come in and they meddle with your heart and your emotions and everything else, and act as if there's nothing to it. Like I say, I'm sorry, so get over it. Negro, I'll pull your trachea out.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
I can't say that. No, I take that back, Miss Lashley. I'm sorry. It could be communication. It could be communication. I can get an arbitrator.
Exactly. Actually, I just remember. See, look here. I'm almost half a century here. Y'all work with me here with memory. And on Sunday we have our other workshop. So Friday is Move On Sis. Sunday is Stop Make. What is it now? I gotta look at this. Oh yes, here we go. Stop breaking your own heart, because there's some things that we keep doing again and again. We dating the same people. They got the same big nose. They even looking alike.
Same human. Different skin, same human.
Stop breaking your own heart. So ladies, well, men too, but I'm speaking to the ladies. If you dating someone or you're married to someone, you say, oh, he remind me of so and so, run. Run.
Yeah, that's
move on. Yeah.
That's because you just married the same person, just a different person. Personalities are the same. They're the same person.
And then for situation.
Us as women, we even wind up marrying our fathers, because it goes back to us coming we end up marrying our fathers.
I remember sitting down talking with a gentleman, and for the longest, this guy, I'm dating him, And I say, this man remind me of somebody. What is this? This man remind me of, oh my God, I'm dating my father. Oh my God. What is this on me?
It's like run
Lord
for the
help
hills.
me. That's right. Move on,
Run,
sis.
run for the hills. Move on, sis. If you've never been to any of Stanya's workshops, let me tell you something. She has these private ones where it's in a private setting. You go to the private setting, and I've been to several of them. Two specific. Let me tell you something. There's information and there's sharing in that space with the women, because it's not like how you could see it live on Facebook. It's a private
Right.
session where all the
Yes.
women are in there, and the guests are talking about everything from sex to marriage to, and the women are being real because they're not worried about people
Right.
hearing and seeing the information that they're giving, and it's so real in there. I mean, there's information you can't get anywhere else. The most amazing guests. So if you get the opportunity to attend one of her workshops, please take the opportunity. Stanya is one of the most.
Oh, let me hear
Stanya,
this.
yeah. No, Stanya is one of the.
Hold on. Let me get my Johnny cake so I could soak this up some more. Hold on.
No, she paying me. She paying me. She's one of the most, like how, no, like how Miss Lashley with that arbitration and that stuff, she got that down to science. You got this relationship thing, and y'all are like, because the most amazing thing is how us as women, we have our own space and our own thing, and we have such intelligent, smart women in this country, and we need to just take the information and share it and get it to the women and the other persons that need it, so that we could be better as people, man. You
Regina, can I interject just 1 second, please?
Sure.
This is the Pentecostal / Baptist virtual finger. Here we go. Now let me correct this now. I am not a relationship coach. I am, as a matter of fact, I am the person who you come to who is gonna help you get over him dead quick. Okay? That's right. I'm the person who you're coming to, so you could forget. You know, like how sometimes you say, Lord help me, don't see this person. Well, I'm gonna help you get through it. Okay, so I'm the person that you come to when you're going through a breakup, or you are in it and you know you gotta let go, but you don't know how to.
How to let go? Yes,
that is right. So I am like a self relationship, not so much with the relationship with this person or whatever. Because in many cases, although let me say this though, people come to me and sometimes they do end up back with it and the relationship is better. But for the most part, I am who you come to when you're ready to let go or you need to let go.
Yeah, because she have all. That's what I say. And everybody have their specific lean, and
Yes.
if we. The thing about it is, it's like I think now in society today, I think people are more apt to be going to persons who can help them to achieve, pay monies, invest in themselves. Because you know in the past they tell you pray, because they ain't telling you find nobody to help you to fix the situation. You cuss you out. This will Miss Lashley come in. You cuss you out and you fight with everybody, and you're on the job telling them piece of your mind and the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? That's where Miss Lashley comes. Them in the relationship come. You're in this relationship and you know you don't belong there. You know you ain't belong in it, and you still stay in there to what end? All you do is go ahead, Miss Lashley.
I said, because you're hoping God can help you. Don't leave it to God. God don't want that on him.
Right.
You got to fix this yourself.
But you know something?
You could do with all your good sense.
You know how people like to say, Lord, just give me a sign. This me right here. I am 6'13". This your big sign right here. Move on, sis. Okay? That's it, right? That's right. This your big flashing beyond sign right here. Move on and stop breaking your own heart. Stanya Davis, tell it to Stanya, Eve's Journey Life Coaching Institute. That's where to find me.
Miss Lashley, give them your information again as well, where they can reach out to you, please.
Right. ADR Bahamas, adrbahamas.org, admin or CAE Lashley at adrbahamas.org, 394-7800, ADR Bahamas. And we believe, don't leave it to God, because God is not going to deal with it. You got to deal with it yourself.
The thing about it is, I think it was Creflo Dollar who say, leave God alone. He ain't coming down here to do nothing you could do for yourself. Leave him alone. He ain't coming down here for you. Go ahead and make the decision. Put on your big girl drawers, your big boy drawers, and make a decision. That's what it is. And do the work to be better. The whole woman. My company is called The Whole Woman. If you're not whole for yourself, you cannot be the parchment to play for anybody else, because you're broken. And that's them bad relationships and then bad communication, giving yourself sick. I often say we see a lot of women around here that are overweight. That's because they're eating and stuffing their emotions and trying to be. It's toxic. And until you get to the place where you now come to the place where you understand, I have to take care of me, because if I don't take care of me, I'm not going to be here. And then I can't be the part I'm meant to play for my children, for my mother. When you're whole, you're a better mother, you're a better wife, you're a better mother, you're a better lover, you're a better friend. When you're whole, it's just an amazing place to be. But it calls for the work, and the work is hard. But when you make up your mind, but when you make up your mind and you do the work and you come on the other side, it's a phenomenal thing on the other side. I'm on the other side. I'm just amazing. I'm the most amazing person I know. I say that all the time. I'm just around. I know that there's always working to be better. And and the one thing you have to do is call yourself out, because we don't like to do that. When you see the mess, you have to call yourself out. And we don't like to do that. We like to be blaming other people. Always him, always her. That's where the opposition come in, because everybody's blaming everybody instead of looking at yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, we could talk for the rest of the day, but let's just, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Miss Lashley. I appreciate you. The enemy fought us, but I believe what was meant to come out has totally come out, because seriously speaking, it's a phenomenal thing that you do. And I know because of the show, people are going to know about it more. And I think they can reach out and get some things done quicker, differently than going to an attorney and taking forever in a court, when you could just go and have it settled and then just walk in and get it done and move on. That right there is powerful, especially with our court system. That's powerful right there. Thank you so much for being with me. I know that some other stuff. I don't know what it is yet, but we're going to come up with some more stuff, because I know you have a lot to offer. People, go ahead and reach out to Miss Lashley. Check on those parts, check on what it is that she does to make your life a little bit better, because communication, understanding how to communicate and move forward, some things can be resolved without having to go to court. When you think about it, that makes perfect sense. Thank you so much for being with me today. I thoroughly enjoyed having you with me.
Thank you. I enjoyed it as well. Thank you. And I get to talk with you as well. Thank you both.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being my stand-in lady. I appreciate you so for being there for me. And I encourage you, anybody on this show who comes to watch the show after the fact, go ahead and check out Stanya's workshop. $57 is minimum to invest in yourself if you're hurting, if you need guidance, if you need to get out of a bad relationship. Sister, move on. Please move on. Reach out to Stanya, watch the show, get the numbers. I'll drop everything at the bottom of the Facebook page at the end of the show, so you could be able to go and get that done. Thank you to the sponsors of the show. That's BWA with their BRA quartz, rose quartz and charcoal product, their cleanser, their facial cleanser, and Commonwealth Drugs and Medical Supply for the color splurge. And like I said, if you want to get a color splurge, I will do curbside for you. So if you're interested in getting a color splurge lipstick, reach out to me. Drop a note in the page at the bottom after the show. When you watch the show, I'll check it, and I will make sure that you get your color splurge. They are phenomenal. There you go. And this is the Black Opal color splurge. And this is our BRA Quartz Charcoal Cleanser. It's the smaller one, but you can get it from any of our leading pharmacies in the country. Thank you, guys. I am here again Tuesday at 1 o'clock on time specific. Be here. I enjoy having you guys with me. I enjoy you supporting me. Thank you so much for being with me. I love you guys. I will see you next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Thank you, Miss Lashley. Thank you, Stanya.
Thank you very much. Thank you both.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Miss Lashley.
You as well. Thank you.
All right.